Hi, my name's Mark, one of the pastors here at Trillium. Many years ago, a woman told me a story of her driving up to the Muskokas, to the family cottage in the summertime. She was driving up on a Friday evening. She had her 3 young children in the back seat of her car. Her husband had to work that weekend, so it was just the 4 of them going to the family cottage. And she was driving on Highway 69 at about midnight. Highway 69 is a very dangerous highway, a lot of fatalities on that highway. But when she was driving, there wasn't a car around her. She was driving up a very shallow incline on the highway. She was very peaceful in a very relaxed state when all of a sudden she heard out of nowhere a voice speak to her, "Pull over!" And she, in her startled state, pulled over to the side of the road, not sure why she was pulling onto its shoulder. And she said only moments later, over the horizon came this 18-wheeler on her side of the highway. And she realized that if she had not heard the voice and she had not pulled over, that she and her kids would have also become fatalities on Highway 69. What do you make of a story like that? When I share this story with people, people are more interested in the voice than in the response. When I share this story with my agnostic or atheistic friends, they kind of roll their eyes and they immediately move to what's called the theodicy argument. How does this woman and her family get to hear the voice when all the other fatalities on Highway 69 didn't get to hear the voice? She got to pull over. They didn't get a chance to pull it over at all. And not just Highway 69. What about all the highways of the world? What are all the highway fatalities and serious injuries that people have gone through in life that occurred because people didn't get to hear the voice? How do you explain that? Like, how can an all-loving, all-powerful God allow the hurt and injustice of life to fall on people's lives? Or how does this God, in a somewhat arbitrary way, pick this person to bless and save and let this person fall to the circumstances of life? And the truth, if you be told, I don't have an easy answer to that. I am happy this woman heard the voice, however. I really am. I'm happy that this particular family managed to avoid the oncoming calamity in life. There are many examples in our immediate circle. There are examples in history. There's an example in the Gospel of Matthew of Joseph, Jesus' father, hearing the voice come to him in a dream. It says, "Get up and go to Egypt, because Herod's coming to kill your son." And that's what Herod does. He immediately picks up his family and moves them off to Egypt and avoids the oncoming 18-wheeler for their lives. But what about all the other children that are left behind when Herod comes? What's going to happen to them? My hunch is that I think this voice is speaking to us a lot of the time. I think this voice is giving us direction and guidance a lot of the time. For some reason or another, we just can't hear it. I think there are miracles that abound around us all the time, but for some reason, we just aren't able to see them. I think these words of encouragement and love are constantly expressed to us from our Father in heaven, but we just don't seem to be able to get our ears attuned to them. Don't know why. There's lots of explanations in Scripture, but at its very concrete form, I don't really understand why one person hears and another person doesn't. But I do know this: I would want you and me to have more open ears to this voice. I wish we could have better abilities to hear and see the miracles of life around us. I believe that the guidance and direction that would come from them would make our lives much richer and much better. You know, one of the interesting things that's found in the Gospel of Matthew, and in fact in Scriptures generally, is that this voice does not always rescue us from the circumstances or contingencies of our life. This voice does promise us, however, whether we are able to pull over to the side of the road or whether we meet the calamity head on, that there is something beyond the crisis of this moment, that there is a blessing and a gift waiting for us on the other side of it, whether in this world or in the one to come.